I work as an industrial maintenance technician at a manufacturing plant outside town. 45-hour weeks, decent pay, nothing glamorous. I come home tired most days, but I never complained. That was just life. My wife started going to the gym about 8 months ago. Good for her, I thought. She wanted to get in shape, feel better about herself. I supported it completely, paid for the membership without question. But somewhere around month 3, things shifted. She started talking about her personal trainer. A lot. At first it was innocent enough. He showed me this new exercise today. He says I'm making great progress. Normal gym talk. Then it became more frequent. He actually listens when I talk about my day. He remembers little details about me. He texts me motivation quotes every morning. I noticed she started dressing differently for the gym. More makeup, better outfits. She'd spend an extra 20 minutes getting ready just to go lift weights. When I mentioned it, she laughed it off. I just want to look presentable. Last Tuesday, I got home around 6. My shift ran long because we had equipment issues. I walked in, dropped my tool bag by the door, and headed to the kitchen. She was making dinner, phone in hand, smiling at the screen. Rough day, I said, grabbing a water from the fridge. She barely looked up. I sat down at the table. My back was killing me from crawling under machinery all afternoon. How was the gym? Amazing, she said, still focused on her phone. We did this intense circuit training. He pushed me harder than usual. That's good, I said. She finally put the phone down and looked at me. You know, my trainer gives me so much attention. You should learn from him. I stopped mid-drink. The water bottle hovered at my lips. What? I'm just saying, she continued, turning back to the stove. He really pays attention. That's how I'm doing. Makes me feel valued. You could take notes. The words hung in the air like smoke. I didn't respond immediately. Just set the water bottle down slowly. Carefully. She kept cooking like she hadn't just compared me to another man. Like that was a totally acceptable thing to say to your husband. I watched her for a moment. The way she smiled slightly, like she'd made a valid point. Like she'd just given me helpful feedback instead of a knife to the gut. Interesting, I finally said. She glanced over her shoulder. What? Nothing. I stood up. I'm going to take a shower. I walked upstairs, closed the bathroom door, and stood there staring at my reflection. 11 years of marriage. 11 years of coming home every day, paying bills, being faithful, being present. And now I should learn from her gym trainer? The comment wouldn't leave my head. I got in the shower and let the hot water run, but my mind was already working. This wasn't just a random complaint. This was a pattern I'd been ignoring. The excessive gym time. The phone she now kept face down. The way she talked about this guy constantly. The defensive attitude when I asked simple questions. I got out, dried off, and got dressed. When I came back downstairs, dinner was on the table. She was scrolling through her phone again, smiling. Dinner's ready, she said. Thanks. I sat down across from her. We ate in silence for a few minutes. She typed something on her phone, hit send, then set it down. It buzzed almost immediately. She picked it up, read the message, smiled again. That him? I asked. Who? The trainer. Oh, she didn't look up. Yeah, he's just checking in about tomorrow's session. At 7 at night? He's dedicated. She finally put the phone away. He really cares about his clients. Right, I said. Sounds like a great guy. She missed the sarcasm completely. He is. I finished eating, cleared my plate, and went to the living room. She stayed in the kitchen, phone back in her hand. I could hear her laughing at something. I sat on the couch and opened my laptop. Not to watch anything. To think. To process what was actually happening here. My wife had just told me, to my face, that another man was better at giving her attention than I was. She'd held him up as an example of what I should be. Most guys would have exploded right there. Yelled, confronted, demanded answers. But I've learned something working in industrial maintenance. When a machine starts making weird noises, you don't just start hitting it with a wrench. You diagnose the problem first. You gather information. So that's what I decided to do. No yelling. No accusations. Just observation. Because if she felt comfortable saying that to me, there was definitely more going on than just workout advice and motivation quotes. I glanced toward the kitchen. She was still on her phone, still smiling. And I started planning. The next morning, I woke up before her alarm. 5:30. I got dressed quietly and headed downstairs to make coffee. Her phone was on the kitchen counter. Face up this time. The screen lit up with a notification. Morning check-in. You got this today? Remember what we talked about? From someone named Coach Brett, with a flame emoji next to the name. I didn't touch the phone, just noted it and poured my coffee. She came down 20 minutes later, already in gym clothes. You're up early. Couldn't sleep. I sipped my coffee. You heading to the gym? Yeah, got a session at 6:30. She grabbed her phone, checked it, smiled. Need to get going. On a Wednesday morning? I told you I go 4 times a week now. She grabbed her keys. See you tonight. The door closed. I waited 10 seconds, then pulled up our phone records online. We had a family plan. Everything was right there. Over the past month, she'd sent 247 text messages to a number not in my contacts. Received 198 back. The message timestamps were interesting. Late nights, early mornings, some even during my lunch breaks when I tried calling her and got voicemail. I saved the number, searched it online. Nothing came up directly, but I cross-referenced it with the gym's website. Found the staff page. Brett Caldwell, personal trainer, certified fitness coach, specializing in one-on-one attention and customized programs. There was a photo, mid-30s, athletic build, that practice smile trainers always have. And in his bio, buried at the bottom, proud husband and dog dad. Husband. So he was married too. I opened social media and found him easily. Public profile. Plenty of photos with clients, motivational quotes, workout videos. And there, 6 months ago, a wedding photo. Him and a blonde woman, looking happy. Caption, married my best friend today. Her name was tagged. Sloan Caldwell. I closed my laptop and finished my coffee. My shift started in an hour, but my mind was already working through the pieces. That afternoon, I left work 30 minutes early. Told my supervisor I had an appointment. Technically true, an appointment to confirm my suspicions. I drove to the gym, parked across the street where I had a clear view of the entrance. My wife's car was in the lot. I waited. At 4:15, the door opened. She walked out, but she wasn't alone. Brett was with her. They stood by her car, talking. She laughed at something he said. He touched her arm. Not aggressive, not inappropriate by gym standards, but familiar. Too familiar. They talked for another 5 minutes. She kept smiling, kept laughing. Finally, she got in her car. He waved as she drove off. I sat there, watching him walk back inside. That confirmed enough for me. When I got home, she was in the shower. Her phone was on the bed, plugged in and charging. I picked it up. Passcode protected. I tried our anniversary. Incorrect. Tried her birthday. Incorrect. Third attempt. I typed in random numbers, deliberately failed it, then set it back down. She came out 10 minutes later, towel wrapped around her. You're home early. Light day. I was sitting on the bed, looking casual. How was the gym? Good. She grabbed the phone, checked it. Really good session today. Yeah? What did you work on? Core and cardio. She started getting dressed, back to me. Brett said I'm showing major improvement. Brett says a lot of things. She turned around, eyebrow raised. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. I stood up. Just noticing you mention him a lot. He's my trainer. Of course I mention him. Right. I headed for the door. I'm going to start dinner. I can do it, she said quickly. I got it. I went downstairs and started cooking. Simple pasta, nothing fancy. While the water boiled, I thought about next steps. I had enough evidence to know something was happening. Whether it was physical or just emotional didn't matter anymore. She'd already crossed the line by comparing me to him, by making me feel inadequate in my own marriage. Most guys would confront right now, demand to see the phone, start a fight, but that would just make her defensive. She'd delete everything, lock down harder, maybe even flip it around and blame me for being controlling. No, I needed a different approach, something that wouldn't just expose the situation to me, but to everyone involved. She came downstairs, dressed in comfortable clothes, hair still damp. Smells good. It's just pasta. Still, she sat at the table. So I was thinking, about what? Maybe you could come to the gym with me sometime. Meet Brett. See what I've been talking about. I stopped stirring the sauce. Turned around slowly. You want me to meet your trainer? Yeah, I think you'd like him. He's actually a cool guy. She was completely serious. No hint of guilt or awareness. Plus, you could probably use a workout routine yourself. No offense. The audacity was almost impressive. She was inviting me to meet the guy she was clearly getting too close with. Either she genuinely thought nothing was wrong, or she was testing me. Maybe, I said. Let me think about it. Okay. She pulled out her phone again, started typing. I plated the food and brought it to the table. We ate quietly. She kept glancing at her phone between bites. Question, I said. She looked up. Yeah. This Brett guy? He He married. Her expression flickered for just a second. I think so. What? Just curious. You talk about him so much, figured I should know. I don't talk about him that much. You mentioned him 6 times yesterday. I counted. That's not true. I didn't argue. Just went back to eating. After dinner, I did the dishes while she disappeared into the living room. I could hear her on the phone, voice low. When I finished cleaning up, I walked past. She quickly ended the call. Everything okay? I asked. Fine. Just talking to my sister. At 8:30 on a Wednesday. She called me. I nodded and went upstairs. Opened my laptop again. Started researching Brett Caldwell more thoroughly. Found his wife's profile. She worked as a dental hygienist. Seemed normal. Happy photos, regular posts. I felt a small pang of sympathy for her. She had no idea what her husband was doing. Just like I hadn't known what my wife was doing until recently. But that sympathy gave me an idea. A way to handle this that wouldn't just confront my wife, but would expose the whole situation in a way that couldn't be denied or minimized. I leaned back in my chair, thinking it through. It was strategic, maybe a little cold. But after that comment yesterday, after watching them together today, after months of being compared and dismissed, I didn't feel like playing nice anymore. My wife wanted me to learn from Brett about giving attention. Fine. I'd give them both more attention than they ever wanted. Thursday morning, I called in sick to work. First time in 2 years. My supervisor didn't question it. I had research to do. I started with the gym's business registration. Public records showed the owner's name, the building lease, and most importantly, employee contracts filed with the county. Brett Caldwell's home address was listed right there. Required for tax purposes. 2247 Oakmont Drive. About 15 minutes from our house. I pulled up the address on Street View. Nice neighborhood. Not wealthy, but solid middle class. 2-story colonial, well-maintained lawn. A silver Honda in the driveway. Next, I researched gift basket companies. Found one that did same-day delivery. They had pre-made options, but I wanted custom. Spent 20 minutes on the phone with them, explaining exactly what I needed. Wine. Not expensive, but nice enough. Chocolates. Gourmet crackers. Some fancy cheese. The kind of basket that looks thoughtful and deliberate. And a card. That was the important part. I dictated it to the woman on the phone. She typed it up and read it back to me. Dear Brett, thank you for all the personal attention and extra dedication you've given my wife. She talks about you constantly and says you really go above and beyond for her. Your commitment to her progress hasn't gone unnoticed. I wanted to make sure your family knows how much you've invested in our relationship. With gratitude. I didn't sign my name. Just wrote, a grateful husband. The delivery specialist asked for the recipient's name. Brett Caldwell, I said, but I need it delivered between noon and 2, when he'll definitely be at work. She understood without me having to explain further. We can do that. I paid extra for the specific time window. Then I sat back and waited. At 11:30, my wife texted me. Feeling better? Still pretty rough, I replied. Staying in bed. Okay, let me know if you need anything. She was at the gym. I knew her schedule by now. At 1:15, my phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. 2 minutes later, another call. Same number. This time I answered. Hello. Is this the husband? A woman's voice. Angry. Shaking. Who's calling? This is Sloan Caldwell. I just received a very interesting gift basket at my home. I stayed calm. I'm sorry. I think you have the wrong number. No, I don't. The card says grateful husband. My husband is a personal trainer. And apparently he's been giving someone's wife a lot of personal attention. Ma'am, I don't know what you're talking about. Stop lying. Her voice cracked. Just tell me, is it your wife? I paused. Let the silence hang there for a second. What did the card say exactly? She read it to me, word for word. Her voice got angrier with each sentence. Well, I said carefully, that does sound concerning. Who is she? If your husband is doing something inappropriate, that's between you and him. I'm just making sure people are aware of the situation. What's her name? She was almost yelling now. I think you should ask your husband that question. I hung up. 10 minutes later, my wife called. I didn't answer. Let it ring through. She called again immediately. Again, I ignored it. Third call, I picked up. Hello. What did you do? Her voice was pure panic. I'm sick, remember? Been in bed all day. Brett just called me freaking out. His wife got some basket delivered to their house. She thinks he's having an affair. That's unfortunate. Did you send it? Send what? Don't play dumb. Did you send something to his house? I sat up in bed, kept my voice even. You told me I should learn from him. that he gives you so much attention. I took your advice. Figured he deserved recognition. Silence. Complete silence. You sent a gift basket to his house. Her voice was barely a whisper now. To thank him for all the extra attention he's been giving you. You said it yourself. He really goes above and beyond. Are you insane? His wife opened it. She read the card. She thinks we're having an affair. Are you? No, of course not. Then why are you panicking? Because you just blew up my entire gym situation. Brett's wife is furious. He's freaking out. The gym owner might get involved. This is a disaster. I swung my legs out of bed, stood up. You know what's a disaster? Coming home after a 10-hour shift and having my wife tell me I should learn from another man. That's a disaster. It wasn't like that. That's exactly what it was like. You compared me to him, made me feel inadequate. In my own house. I was just making a point. And I made one too. Turns out when you shine a light on special attention, people notice. Including his wife. She was breathing hard on the other end. You need to fix this. Fix what? I sent a thank you gift. That's all. Call his wife. Tell her it was a misunderstanding. No. What do you mean no? I mean no. You wanted me to learn from Brett. Well, I learned something. I learned that actions have consequences. And apparently, so does all that extra attention he's been giving you. This isn't fair. Neither was your comment. But here we are. I can't believe you did this. You're absolutely right. You probably can't. I walked to the window, looked outside. But I did. And now everyone knows exactly what kind of attention you've been getting at the gym. Nothing happened between us. Then the basket shouldn't be a problem. Just a grateful thank you to a dedicated trainer, right? Unless there's something to hide. She didn't respond. I could hear her breathing, fast and shallow. I have to go, she finally said. I need to talk to Brett. I bet you do. She hung up. I set the phone down and sat back on the bed. My hands were steady. My mind was clear. Did I feel bad? Not particularly. She'd been emotionally involved with this guy for months. Maybe more. The excessive texting, the constant mentions, the defensive behavior. Whether they'd crossed a physical line or not didn't matter anymore. She disrespected our marriage. Publicly told me another man was better at something I should be doing. Made me feel like I wasn't enough. So I made sure everyone involved understood the situation, including the one person who had the most right to know, his wife. My phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. This is Sloan. We need to talk. I typed back. About what? About what my husband has been doing with your wife. I think that's a conversation you need to have with him. I already did. He's lying. I can tell. I need to know the truth. I thought about it for a moment, then replied. The truth is my wife spends 4 days a week at the gym. She texts him constantly. She talks about him more than she talks about me. She told me I should learn from him about giving attention. Make of that what you will. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Thank you for being honest. You're welcome. And thank you for the basket. It opened my eyes. I didn't respond to that. Just set the phone down. Outside, the afternoon sun was bright. Normal day for everyone else. But for 4 people, everything had just changed. I got dressed, went downstairs, made coffee, sat at the kitchen table and waited. Because my wife would be home soon, and we were going to have a very different conversation than the ones we'd been having. This time, I wouldn't be the one feeling inadequate. She came through the door at 3:30. I was still at the kitchen table, coffee cup in hand. Her face was red, eyes puffy. She'd been crying. We need to talk, she said, dropping her gym bag by the door. I'm listening. She pulled out a chair, sat down across from me. Brett's wife confronted him at the gym, in front of clients. It was a scene. Sounds like she had questions. She accused him of sleeping with me. Screamed it in the middle of the weight room. Management had to step in. I sipped my coffee. Must have been embarrassing. Embarrassing? It was humiliating. Everyone was staring. People were recording on their phones. Welcome to consequences. Her jaw tightened. You did this on purpose. I sent a thank you gift. If that caused problems, maybe there was something worth questioning. There wasn't anything happening. Then why is everyone so upset? She stood up, paced to the window. Because you made it look like something was happening. You manipulated the situation. I stated facts. He gave you attention. You appreciated it. You told me to learn from him. I sent acknowledgement. Those are all true statements. You know what you did. Yeah, I do. I set the coffee cup down. I made sure his wife knew what kind of relationship you two had. The constant texting, the excessive time together, the way you light up when you talk about him. We're just friends. Friends don't text at 11 at night. Friends don't make their spouses feel inadequate. She turned around, arms crossed. So this is payback? You wanted to hurt me. No, I wanted you to understand what it feels like when someone crosses a line. You crossed it when you compared me to him. He crossed it when he participated in whatever this is. And his wife deserved to know. She kicked him out, she said quietly. He's staying at his brother's place now. That's between them. He lost clients today. The gym might terminate his contract. Again, consequences. You ruined his life. I stood up, faced her directly. I didn't ruin anything. His choices did. Your choices did. I just made sure those choices weren't happening in the shadows anymore. She wiped her eyes. I can't go back to that gym. Everyone knows now. Find a different gym. That's it. That's your solution. What do you want me to say? That I'm sorry? I'm not. You disrespected me. For months. And when I finally had enough, I handled it my way. By sending a gift basket? She almost laughed, but it came out bitter. That's psychotic. Psychotic would have been confronting him myself. Making a scene. Getting physical. I used strategy instead. Clean, documented, effective. You humiliated me. You humiliated yourself. I just provided the spotlight. My phone buzzed on the table. Text from Sloan again. He admitted they've been texting constantly. Said it was just motivation and support. I don't believe him. Did she ever mention meeting him outside the gym? I showed my wife the screen. His wife wants to know if you two ever met up outside the gym. Her face went pale. No, never. You sure? Yes. I swear. It was only at the gym. I typed back to Sloan. She says no. Just gym sessions. I want to believe that, but I can't trust anything he says anymore. I didn't respond to that. Just set the phone down. My wife was still standing by the window, staring outside. What happens now? That depends. On what? On whether you understand what you did wrong. She turned around. I made a comment. One comment. And you blew up our lives over it. It wasn't one comment. It was months of prioritizing him over me. Months of making me feel like I wasn't enough. That comment was just the final piece. So what? You want an apology? I want honesty. Were you having an affair? No. Emotional affair? She hesitated. That hesitation told me everything. He made me feel good, she finally said. He listened. He paid attention. He made me feel attractive again. And I didn't. You were always working. Always tired. We barely talked anymore. So instead of telling me that, you found someone else to give you attention. It wasn't like that. That's exactly what it was like. You emotionally checked out of our marriage and checked into something with him. I didn't sleep with him. That doesn't make it okay. She sat back down, put her head in her hands. I messed up. I know I did. But what you did today made everything worse. No, it made everything visible. There's a difference. His marriage might be over because of you. His marriage is over because of him. And maybe you. But not because I sent a basket. That just revealed what was already happening. She looked up at me. Can we fix this? Us. I sat down across from her again. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I mean, I've spent the last few days watching you defend him. Panic about his situation. Worry about his wife's reaction. Not once have you actually acknowledged how your actions affected me. I just did. No. You acknowledged that you messed up. That's not the same as understanding the damage. Then help me understand. I leaned back in my chair. When you told me to learn from him, you made me feel worthless. Like 11 years of showing up every day meant nothing. Like working to provide for us was inadequate. Like being faithful and present wasn't enough. I didn't mean it that way, but that's how it landed. And instead of recognizing that, you kept defending the relationship, kept texting him, kept prioritizing whatever you had with him over what we have. Tears ran down her face. I'm sorry. I appreciate that. But sorry doesn't rebuild trust. And right now, I don't trust you. What does that mean? It means we have a lot to figure out. And I'm not making any promises about where we end up. Her phone rang. She glanced at it. It's Brett. Don't answer it. She looked at me. He's probably just checking in. If you answer that phone, I'm done. Right now? Completely done. Her finger hovered over the screen. The phone kept ringing. Finally, it went to voicemail. Good choice, I said. She set the phone face down on the table. I need to cancel my gym membership. Yeah, you do. And I need to block his number. That would be a start. She pulled up her phone, fingers shaking slightly. I watched as she navigated to her messages, found his contact, hit block. Then she showed me the screen. Done, she said. Okay, what else do you need from me? I thought about it. Space. Time. and genuine effort to figure out why you went looking for attention from someone else instead of communicating with me. And if I do that, then maybe we have a chance. Maybe. She nodded slowly. I'll do whatever it takes. We'll see. My phone buzzed again. Another text from Sloan. I filed for separation today. Lawyers already drafting papers. Thank you for giving me the push I needed to see the truth. I didn't show my wife that message. Just turned the phone over. Outside, the sun was starting to set. Orange light filtered through the kitchen window. Everything felt different now. Heavier, but also clearer. The lies were out in the open. The attention was exposed. And everyone involved was dealing with the consequences of their choices, including my wife, who sat across from me looking smaller than I'd seen her in years. I'm going to my sister's tonight, she said quietly. Give you some space. Probably a good idea. She stood up, grabbed her gym bag. I'll call you tomorrow, if you want. She walked to the door, paused with her hand on the handle. I genuinely am sorry. For what it's worth. Noted. The door closed behind her. I sat alone in the kitchen, watching the sunset fade. My coffee had gone cold, but I didn't care. I'd done what I needed to do, made the play I needed to make. And now, whatever happened next, at least it would be based on truth instead of secrets. 3 days passed. She stayed at her sister's place. We texted minimally, logistical stuff only. On Sunday morning, she showed up at the house. I was having breakfast when she walked in. Can we talk? She asked. Go ahead. She sat down, pulled out her phone. I want to show you something. She opened her messages, scrolled back weeks, months, showed me conversations with Brett that went way deeper than workout advice. I'm struggling at home. He doesn't notice me anymore. You deserve better. You're making amazing progress. You should see that. Sometimes I wonder if I made the right choice marrying him. You're too special to feel unappreciated. I read through them silently. Each message made it clearer. This wasn't just friendly motivation. This was emotional intimacy she'd built with someone else. Why are you showing me this now? I asked. Because I want you to know the full truth. I was wrong. Completely wrong. I let him fill a space that should have been yours. Okay. That's it. Just okay. I set her phone down. What do you want me to say? That I forgive you? That we're good now? I want a chance to fix this. You can't fix this. You broke something fundamental. Trust doesn't just come back because you're sorry. So that's it. We're done. I leaned back in my chair. I think we've been done for a while. You just didn't want to admit it. That's not true. You told another man you wondered if you made the right choice marrying me. That's pretty definitive. Her face crumpled. I was venting. I didn't mean it. You meant it when you typed it. You meant it when you sent it. And you definitely meant it when you compared me to him. I made a mistake. Multiple mistakes. Over months. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. She stood up, voice rising. So you're just giving up? After 11 years. I'm not giving up. I'm recognizing reality. You checked out of this marriage emotionally. Maybe I could have been more attentive. Maybe I could have tried harder. But you never gave me the chance. You just went looking elsewhere. Because you weren't there. I was working, providing, coming home every night. Being faithful. That counts for something. It's not enough to just show up. And it's not acceptable to find emotional support from another man instead of talking to your husband. We stared at each other across the kitchen. The silence stretched out. Finally, she spoke. What do you want? Honestly, I want you to leave. Go back to your sisters. Give me time to think. About what? Whether you want a divorce. About whether I can ever trust you again. And right now, the answer is no. So we're separated? Call it whatever you want. But yeah, we're living apart until I figure out what I want. She grabbed her phone, headed for the door. Stopped halfway. Brett texted me yesterday. From a different number. And I didn't respond. Blocked that one too. Good for you. I'm trying here. I know. But trying now doesn't erase months of not trying. She left without another word. I sat at the kitchen table, staring at nothing. 11 years. Gone because she wanted attention from someone else. Because I wasn't enough. Or maybe because we both stopped trying and she was just the first one to look elsewhere. Either way, we were done. I knew it. She probably knew it too. The only question now was how long it would take her to accept it. 2 months later, the divorce papers were finalized. Clean split. No drama. She didn't contest anything. Her family tried one last intervention. Called me. Asked if I'd reconsider. I told them the same thing I'd told her. Trust, once broken like that, doesn't rebuild. They stopped calling after that. Brett's situation got worse. His wife filed for divorce 3 weeks after the basket incident. The gym terminated his contract when clients started requesting different trainers. Last I heard, he moved 2 towns over, working at a different facility. Starting from scratch, my wife found a new gym across town. Got a female trainer this time. Moved into her own apartment near her sister's place. We spoke occasionally about paperwork and logistics. Nothing else. Sloan reached out one more time, thanking me again for the basket. Said it gave her clarity she'd been avoiding. She'd suspected something for months, but kept making excuses. The basket forced her to confront it. I ran into her at the grocery store last month. Brief conversation. She looked better, lighter. Said she was dating again, taking things slow. I wished her well. She did the same. As for me, I joined a different gym. Nothing fancy. Planet Fitness, 10 minutes from work. Started going 3 times a week. Not to impress anyone, just for myself. Reconnected with some buddies from high school. Started doing monthly poker nights. Simple stuff. Reminded me what friendship without complications felt like. Work promoted me to lead technician. Better pay, more responsibility. Kept me focused on something productive instead of dwelling on what ended. I bought new furniture for the house. Got rid of stuff that reminded me of her. Made the space mine again. Dating hasn't been a priority. Maybe eventually. Right now, I'm good being alone. Learning who I am outside of that marriage. Looking back, that comment about learning from her trainer was the best, worst thing she ever said to me. It exposed everything. Forced me to see what I'd been ignoring. She wanted someone who gave her constant attention and validation. I'm not wired that way. I show up. I'm consistent. I'm loyal. That should have been enough. For the right person, it will be. The gift basket cost $47. Cheap price for clarity. Would I do it differently? No. I handled it strategically. No yelling, no violence, no public meltdown. Just facts delivered to the people who needed to know them. Some guys might call it petty. I call it efficient. She made a choice. He made a choice. I made sure those choices had consequences beyond just our marriage. And now we all live with the results. Me? I'm fine. Better than fine, actually. I've got my house, my job, my friends, and my self-respect intact. That's more than I can say for them. Life moves on. You adapt. You rebuild. You learn that sometimes the trash takes itself out, and your only job is to not chase after it. So I didn't. And I won't.